Good evening and welcome to our June Smyrna Town Council workshop to set our agenda actually for our July meeting. It's hard to believe we're already almost into July. Before we move into our items for discussion tonight, I'm going to ask Steve Sullivan to do our prayer, and Charles, will you do our pledge tonight? Yes, ma'am. If you'll all stand with us, please.
Dear Lord, thank you for today. We thank you for this time of year. Thank you for the summer, Lord. We ask that you continue to bless our town, bless the staff, the first responders, and all of those in service to our community, Lord. Continue to bless this council. Everything that would be done today would be pleasing in your eye. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Steve and Charles. Okay. Public comment is the town's public comment period shall be reserved for those citizens who have signed up to address the town council or a board or committee at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting pursuant to the town's public comment policy. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and additional comments may be submitted in writing. Amber, do we have any public comments tonight?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then we'll move on into our agenda items. And our first item is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract renewal with Lumen Technologies Group to provide phone and internet services for the town of Smyrna. Hey, Carl, how are you
Good evening, Mayor
tonight?
and Council. I'm very well. How are you today?
Great.
Yeah, this first one, our contract with Lumen has run out. This is to renew it. By doing the renewal, we are increasing our internet speed. We are going to change the way we deliver our phone services to be more efficient, and it's going to save us about $200 a month.
Great. Council, any questions on this renewal?
Well, all the same services, or are we getting additional services?
It's all the same services, just increased speeds on the internet and on the phone delivery.
Okay.
Other questions or comments? Thanks, Carl. Item 3 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a renewal agreement with Threader for internet security devices and services.
Yeah, this is a device that we keep out on the edge for managing all of our internet traffic. One device is provided by our insurance provider. We also have 2 other devices as we have 3 ISPs that come in. This is just the annual payment to keep that going.
Questions on this annual renewal? Okay, we'll move on to item 4, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract amendment number 2 with TDOT relative to State Route 1 US 41, which is Lowry Street project from Jackson Street to the bridge over Harts Branch.
Hey, Mayor and Council, this is contract extends the completion contract from November 30th of 24 to April 30th of 26. Like I said, right now, Utilities is putting in the new water line, so that will be finished this fall. And then we'll work our design from that for the new sidewalks and streetlights for that section.
Questions on that portion of Lowry Street? Okay, we'll move on to item 5, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute the proposal with Hayworth, Meyer, Boland Professional Engineers LLC for survey and conceptual design for the Amival Road project.
We're on this project, we're looking to widen Almaville Road to 3 lanes with sidewalks from Old Nashville Highway out to Lee Victory Parkway. And this will get the survey and conceptual designs for that project.
Council, questions on this one?
I remember a long time ago, there seemed to be some difficulty getting acquisitions of property.
Well, that's what we're looking at to see where this concept will look at get the survey, the right-of-way boundaries, and then we'll get into see, because right now that it hits like 73 tracks out through there.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much that we will get into as far as the right-of-way. So we'll do the conceptual first before we get into final design.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments? Okay, then we will put that on the agenda and move on to item 6, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute the proposal with Collier Engineering Company Incorporated for construction plans and construction engineering and inspection services for the Enon Springs Road improvement projects.
Right, this project will bring the current sidewalks up to ADA standards, and we'll also mill and resurface Enon Springs Road from Florence Road up to Ridley Street.
Questions for Charles on this? Are we on target with our ADA plan of things that we're doing across town of moving forward with that? I know we had so many years to be able to do that. Sorry, I kind of put you on the spot there, Tom.
Yeah, every year we are working toward that plan, and like with Charles's project here, we also have the Enid Springs and Old Natural Highway sidewalk project, so once that gets into construction, that's gonna move us forward a lot. Also, we're working on Old Natural Highway on the southern part with our own money, doing ADA upgrades, so we are working away with that, as well as building grounds, doing the renovations here, so we are working toward that 30-year goal. What we established, I think it was in 2019, so we are working toward that goal.
Great.
So you said 30 year?
Yes.
We have that long to get it?
Yes, we had,
All done.
when we
Okay.
put the transition plan together, we were asked what kind of time frame we're looking at, and at that time, a lot of municipalities were looking at a 30-year time frame, which seems like a long time, but we're talking about spending
Comes quick.
$1 million a year, it adds up.
Okay.
Well, with the amount of money that it costs to do the upgrades and with the amount of work that has to be done, I know that we're not the only community that was looking at that time frame. So.
Right.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the update. So we'll move on to item 7, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a 1-year contract extension with Sweeping Corporations of America for roadway sweeping.
Yes, Sweeping Corp of America has our current contract as of June 2023, and this is the last of a 1-year extension with them.
Okay, questions on the sweeping contract? Okay, put that on the agenda. Move on to item 8, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to approve the rankings of the respondents to the request for qualifications for the right-of-way acquisition services for the Florence Road sidewalks. What is it about your projects? And we talk about them for quite a while.
Okay, first of all, this was, speaking of gifts, this one was a gift from that man with the thumbs up.
So now we're passing the buck.
Not passing the buck, I'm just stating
Sharing
all
the
the
buck.
realities of the facts beyond it. But, no, I was handed this one. But I'm glad you mentioned that. Good news, because today I just got an email from TDOT saying they did approve the design plans. So hopefully soon they'll issue us notice to proceed to right-of-way, which is why we went out ahead of time to get some companies to do right-of-way appraisal negotiations, which is these rankings. We have O.R. Cullen and Cullen Associates, who we rank first, and asking you all to approve that ranking, and then we'll get a proposal from them, bring that to you all. So hopefully about the time we get the proposal approved, we'll also have notice to proceed to right-of-way, and we'll seamlessly move this project forward.
Seamlessly.
So this will be done next weekend.
It seems like that, yes.
I don't think I have ever seen sidewalks take so long, but I think it's a perfect example how we love getting grants, but sometimes you have to wonder if they're worth the amount of
Yes.
red tape. So.
It's tough, and it's getting to the point where if it's not at least $1 million, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
sometimes I
TDOT
wonder if a
realizes that.
million's worth it if it's not moved to almost 2 now,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So, but we appreciate all y'all's hard work. I know that it's not really been the ball in our court to be able to move it forward. So I'm glad to hear that we got that info from TDOT today. So.
Thanks. Yep.
Good. Questions on our sidewalks that keep on giving? Okay. I hope we will have a ribbon cutting for those sidewalks whenever we do finally get, whether it's for this council or council in the 10-year
Hoping
future.
I'm still around by the time. I might be buried underneath that sidewalk, the way this one's going.
AI council will be around by
That's
then.
right. That's right. So we'll move on to number 9, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute an agreement with Cummins Sales and Service for maintenance of the fire department generators and related equipment.
Mayor, this is for the 5-year agreement with Cummins Company for the maintenance and repair of, I think it's 7 sites for their generators and related equipment. The total price over that 5-year span is $25,549.63.
Okay. Questions for Ben on this? Okay, we'll put that on the agenda to look at generators. Item 10 is consideration of an ordinance relative to the amendment of Title 12 Building and Utility Codes, Chapter 11 Electric Code, Section 12-1102 modifications, and this is a second reading. Hey, Christy, how are you?
Hey, fine, how you doing? So we are establishing grounding specs with this modification. That's basically what we're doing, electrical grounding.
Questions for Christy on electrical grounding? Everybody's good with grounding? Okay.
it's good that we're staying grounded.
I
Yep.
agree. Item 11 is consideration of an ordinance relative to an amendment of Title 8 Alcoholic Beverages, Chapter 3 Retail Sales of Alcoholic Beverages, Section 8-327 Regulation of Sales, and this is the second reading. Ben?
It is, Mayor. This would allow for the sale of, the retail sale of liquor and wine on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. It tracks the 2018 change of the Tennessee law allowing such.
Okay. Questions on this? Okay. Then we'll move on to item 12, which is consideration of an ordinance to amend Title 1 General Administration, Chapter 1 Town Council, Section 1-104, Order of Business relative to an update to the town's citizen comment policy, and this is a second reading.
And this clarifies the time or the deadline that is needed to be listed on the comment or the citizen comments list. And it goes from, it states Thursday currently, and it will be updated to the last business day prior to the meeting.
Okay. And just so you all know, this will be on everybody's agenda on any board or committee that is throughout the town. So it will absolutely be consistent, which I think is important, so. We will move on to item 13, which is consideration of an ordinance amending the text of the Smyrna Municipal Zoning Ordinance, Article 3, General Provisions, and Article 7, Administration and Enforcement, second reading. Well, there's that buck passer.
That's right.
You're not dumb, right?
I'm glad I was able to get the project for us and get the
There you
grant
go.
and then pass it on to Tom.
What teamwork?
That's right. Yeah, this is a couple of different amendments to the zoning ordinance here in one, with one ordinance change. One is Article 3, Section 3.120, that's which would change the submittal deadline for site plans that are submitted, essentially moving it back 7 days from where it is today. The second one would change Section 7.090, which is regarding changes to the ordinance, which will basically make the zoning ordinance consistent with the recently passed state law, which does require legal notices to be 21 days prior to the public hearing rather than 15 days. So that's what these are.
Questions for Kevin on this?
We asked Kevin if 21 days was enough, and he seemed to think that it was. So
I think, like I said, I think it's gonna, we would still be a shorter deadline than what most around us are, but it's gonna seem like a luxury to us to have that extra week, frankly, so.
Well, I think if you find that it's not with the load that you all are having to bear, then I think you could bring it back and we'd
Sure.
consider looking at it again, so.
Sure.
Okay. Item 14, consideration of resolution relative to a plan of services for property located on tax map 55C, Group B, parcel 35.00. And I will go ahead and read 15 too, since it goes with it. Consideration of an ordinance relative to the annexation and C2 zoning of property located on tax map 55C, Group B, parcel 35.00, requested by Hardik Patel on behalf of Sharia Incorporated, containing 87 100ths of an acre, and it's a second reading. So 14 and 15, Kevin?
Yeah, the plan of services, this is a relatively standard document. This does put in writing the services the town would be providing upon the effective date of annexation, which would be all services in this case, except for water. Sewer will be provided via extension of a wastewater main, which would be to that property by the property owner. And then the request for annexation is for 87 100ths of an acre on Allenville Road. It will also include about 233 linear feet of the existing right-of-way there was an extension of the right-of-way from Allenville Road there that was done back in the late 1990s. It was via a plat that was approved by the County Planning Commission, so we'll be annexing that road right-of-way as well as the property that was requested to be annexed. Zoning would be C2. This property, as we discussed at the council meeting, does have quite a few challenges with regards to floodplains and then access, the access road not being quite wide enough to meet our standards, and then also the sewer had to be extended to the property by the property owners. There are quite a few challenges here. It was staff's recommendation to annex the property just because that way the town would have control over it versus if it ever does develop, we would have control over it as far as our design standards and those type of things. So the planning commission did review both of these items, did recommend approval of both.
We had quite a bit of discussion on this last time. Is there anything, other questions or comments anybody has on this particular item? Okay, then we'll move on to item 16, which is consideration of a resolution in memorandum of ordinance 24-21 relative to the annexation in C2 zoning of property located on tax map 55C Group B, parcel 35. That is our housekeeping item that we will put on the agenda and move on to item 17, which is consideration of an ordinance relative to the rezoning of tax map 54, parcel 50.01 to go from R3 to PRD, requested by Kyle Griffin on behalf of S. Collins 2 Properties LLC. The property requested to be rezoned contains approximately 3.53 acres and is located at 8286 Rocky Fork Gambleville Road, and this is a second reading. Kevin?
Mr. Mayor and Council, this is a rezoning request for a PRD that has 7 single-family lots, which is about 1.98 houses per acre. The houses would range from 2,400 to 3,600 square feet in size. It'd be a mix of brick, stone, and concrete siding, with a minimum of 75% of all elevations being brick or stone. For those 6 new houses, there is an existing house which would remain on one of the lots. Does meet all our requirements with regards to open space, setbacks, and parking. There is shown to be one access point, which will be through the adjoining Stewart's Glen development via extension of a private road. This does lie in CUD service area for water. Will serve letter has been issued for that development. They have indicated they can meet fire flow. The plans did get changed from between the Planning Commission and First Reading Council. What is in your packet are the revised plans that were submitted. They do show kind of a buffer, landscape buffer between lots 4, 5, and 6 and the adjoining property there to the west, southwest there. That the property owner did, that is the lady who spoke at the council meeting. I know there was quite a bit of discussion between her and the engineer on the project after the meeting or during the remainder of the meeting. Well, they were in the lobby, so I don't know exactly what came about there. I haven't heard anything, so I don't know if she was okay with the proposed buffer or something changed. So I'll certainly try to find that out.
But they did put one in.
Yeah, they did put one in. So I will certainly try to find that out between now and the council meeting. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this request with that condition of that buffer being added, and so staff would also recommend approval.
Okay. Questions on this? Okay, then we will put that on the agenda and move on to item 18, which is consideration of an ordinance relative to the rezoning of tax map 33, parcel 87.00 to go from R1 with ESO to PRD with ESO. It's requested by Rob Mulchin on behalf of Odessa Louise Settles. The property requested to be rezoned contains approximately 6.78 acres and is located on Gamble Lane, and this is a second reading.
Yeah, this is a rezoning request on Gamble Lane. It's about for 22 single-family lots. It's about 3.24 houses per acre. Houses would range from 1,700 to 2,600 square feet. Be a mixture of brick, stone, and concrete siding. And all of our requirements are being met as far as our PRD requirements. One access point is shown from Gamble Lane. Would be a new collector road as shown on the major thoroughfare plan. That road is shown to eventually connect through the adjoining property to 7 Oaks Boulevard to provide additional avenues for future traffic flow. The map, which is in your packet, that one, that does show the revised, it does show that road connection to the south. it's there now. So that is part of this approval as well. The planning commission discussion did include a fence to be added to the western side of lots 5 and 6, and that has been shown. They did commit to that, and that has been shown and is in the pattern book that's in your packet does show that fencing there as well. The planning commission did review this, did recommend approval, and staff would also recommend approval.
Can you make sure at meeting that that's
That's
updated?
in the
Yeah,
PowerPoint, yes.
Perfect. Questions on this? I know we had quite a bit of discussion on this one as well. Okay, then we'll put that on the agenda and move on to item 19, which is consideration and authorization of a list of items to be declared surplus and auctioned online through GovDeals. Hey, Rex.
Mayor and council, good evening. In your packet, we submitted a list of vehicles that we'd like to have auctioned. Quite a few vehicles in this list. And also, I'd like to thank Beth Morris. She does a really good job of keeping our surplus property moving and turning it into cash.
We like that. Ice cream machine. We're not getting rid of the ice cream at Event Center, are we?
I wish you had brought that one up. I was gonna hope that slid under. That'd be
Oh,
good
you're gonna bid on it?
on my deck, on my back deck. That would be awesome.
Probably
Not the good ice cream machine.
But shopping local is so important. I know you go every night for ice cream, so
I go as often as possible.
every night, right?
Not quite every night, but most every night.
Any questions on the surplus items? Okay, item 20 is consideration of a resolution to approve funding for nonprofit organizations for fiscal year 2025.
This is a housekeeping measure that we do each year. This is to be in compliance with the requirements from the comptroller of the state of Tennessee. In a resolution, we got to state the agency, the purpose, and the amount before we can issue any checks. We ask that you pass this resolution.
I can't remember, when do y'all have your list from your committee that doles out the 30th, October? Okay, I couldn't remember what month.
November.
November, okay, perfect, okay. Questions about our list? Okay, then we will move on to item 21, which is other. Anything tonight under other, Amber or Jeff?
Yes, Mayor. Kelsey Dempsey has moved out of state, so we'll need to replace her seat on the Historic Zoning Commission, which expires in 2025, and the IDB, Industrial Development Board, ending in 2027.
So
add
if
those.
someone has an interest in historic zoning or IDB, we would encourage you to go online and submit an application. And Amber, I don't know if there had been any prior to.
I do have one for historic zoning that has expressed interest in being considered for that. We've appointed him to the Industrial Development Board, but that one only meets one time a year, so he wanted to be more involved. So he said he would absolutely like to be considered, but we will also take other applications if anybody else wants to apply through our website, and then we'll consider those on July 9th if you guys want us to add it to the agenda.
Perfect. Well, why don't we put it on the agenda, and if we don't
Okay.
feel that we've given enough time, then we can roll it to the next meeting. But,
Sure.
so IDB only meets one time a year, and historic zoning only meets as needed, and about how often?
Probably, Kevin, 4 or 5 times a year?
Sometimes, often it's only 2 or 3, just kind of depends.
So not a ton of meetings with those two, but I think it'd be a great opportunity to just get your feet wet if you want to be involved in the town. So you can go online to our website and get signed up for those. So anything else under other for y'all? Okay. Nate, anything tonight? Kevin? Rex? Charles? Carl? Tom? Mike? You know what? I was gonna say that when I got to my part. And you were the only one that, no, Amber wore her orange shirt, and you wore, and Todd wore his orange tie. you know what? It was a really exciting series, and to have Drew Beam, who all of us know and love, Kelly, she does a great job at the chamber, but Drew is a class act, and to see him perform on the national stage and represent not only Rutherford County, but his mama and daddy and Carly Well was really exciting. So as much as I have a hard time cheering for those Vols, it was not difficult in the series. So it was a great series. So agree. Christy? Mike? Chief? Chief?
Big orange. Somebody stole mine.
Oh, you stole your thunder?
Yeah.
Do you want me to start at the beginning next time?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Will do. Amber?
I was gonna play Rocky Top when you got to me, but I decided the orange shirt might have been enough, so that's it. That's all I have.
Jeffrey L.?
I do have a slide.
Okay.
So we had a great day for our 16th annual boat day on Saturday. This year we partnered with the city of Murfreesboro and Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation to host a larger event in the Jefferson Springs recreation area. I'd like to thank our patrons, volunteers, staff that made this an awesome event. Spoke with Tom, and I believe the number that we have is around 476 participants.
Wow.
And so I did not overturn. I was on the water, and we had a really good day, and it was just great to see that much support out there, because you had to park on the other side. There were so many folks out there.
Yeah. I hated I had to miss it. It was my Saturday at work, and so I was unable to be there, but I knew that it was in capable hands, and I will say it is a great time, and I know you all put a ton of work between staff and volunteers into making it a great day for our citizens, and it's nice to see us partnering with Murfreesboro this year, so. Ben?
Yes. Well, I was also
Oh,
going to
sorry,
say-
you got something else. You said I only
You
had one
moved on.
slide.
I only have one slide, not
Oh,
one thing
okay.
to say.
Okay, you weren't specific.
But did want to thank the staff out there as well, because some of them have been coming out there for 16 years, and so really I do appreciate them. And I was going to say, Ben did a great job this evening, didn't he? He's really jumped in there, and I really appreciate him.
Great. Are you done now?
I am done.
Okay, just making sure. Ben?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I should have given you a slide then. Let you off the hook. Okay. Got a couple of slides. So the 15th was the Juneteenth celebration, and there are a couple of pictures from all the gang that came out. And so as far as attendance, we had 400 plus is what we're looking at. I think there was a good time had by all. And as you can see, there were a lot of people from the town who did come out and support. I'm like, do I have to tell everybody? Can y'all see that all on TV? Okay, all right. And next, on Wednesday, there was a celebration of Miss Marion Appleton as a community historian with the Smyrna Activity Center. And so I was privileged to be able to come out and support her in that. And so there is a picture of myself and Miss Marion and Miss Patsy. And the picture, there's an actual picture in front of us that was given to her by the Senior Center in honor of that day. And it was so heavy, though, we couldn't actually all hold it up. So, but wanted to acknowledge her on her special day as being a community historian. And I also have, let's see, shop local Smyrna. That's really all it says. So in honor of HG, I guess I have the privilege of saying, remember to shop local. I was gonna say, is that him telling me I messed it up?
It's on airplane right now.
All right, and so I also have another slide. Stay in the know. Subscribe to e-notifications for the town of Smyrna. So if you go to the town of Smyrna website, there is an e-notifications link where you can sign up for notices on public meetings, parks and recreation events, the event center lunch menu, and public works. So please take advantage of that opportunity. And then I had one other thing that came up. And so this morning I heard you, Mayor, and Steve on the radio at WGNS this morning, and you all were giving some valuable information related to the town of Smyrna. Sorry, I'm hoping I'm not going to steal your thunder, but there was something I wanted to mention in a comment that was made. It was about the ITS system, and Steve, you talked about that, and I just wanted to give a little bit more accurate information, because you said that the police department is over that, and it's actually the Public Works. And there is a person who's called a traffic operations manager who does do what you said as far as changing the lights and transferring the traffic in the event there's a backup somewhere. So just in case citizens were listening, I wanted to make sure they knew they couldn't call down to the police department and tell them to change the lights anywhere. So, so that is the Public Works, and Tom Rose is over that. So just wanted to.
And I
fix that.
appreciate Steve helping me out. I had a meeting in Nashville today, and Mr. Kraus, who I did not realize, Mr. Kraus is Jennifer Kraus from News Channel 5's dad. And he does a round table and had invited me to come on, and I knew I had to slip out about 15 minutes to make it down I-24. And so to do that, Steve was willing to pick up slack for me and be on with me to help do that. So Steve, I appreciate you taking time to come do that. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed spending time with Mr. Kraus. He has been a town manager. Steve, did he say 5 different communities?
Yeah.
Oak Hill was one of them here, but the rest have all been in Southern California. So he was a really interesting guy. So if you ever get time to spend time with him, I would highly recommend it. So, Jerry?
Okay, I think I have a slide as well. There is an exhibit at the SOAC. It's called Life on the Edge, exploring extreme environments of the Earth and expanding awareness of our solar system and beyond. Life on the Edge exhibit and climbing rooms are included with the SOAC admission. SOAC is open from Tuesday to Saturday from 10 until 6 and Sunday from 1 to 6. Admission is $7 per adult. It's 13 to 54, $4 for 55 and older. No comment?
I'm not eligible.
And $5 per child, 2 to 12, and anybody under 2 is free. And for more information, call 615-459-9710. My grandson loves going down there and seeing those exhibits, so if you get a chance, please stop by. And speaking of my grandson, he's got a birthday coming up next on Monday. So we had one party last week, and we've got another one this, I guess it would be this Monday. So happy birthday to Davis. And Donna and Rodney, happy anniversary. That's all I got.
Excellent. I've only got a couple of things. I have one slide as well. It's that coming up September 13th is our Top Gun night run. It'll be 7:30 at the rec park. The course is a 3.7 mile course, a 6K, which includes Smyrna Rutherford County Airport, the golf course with the finish line at the memorial. Spectators and runners will enjoy live music and food in the park. The run is tip timed and is USATF certified, and we are limited to 650 participants. All proceeds for this race goes to our maintenance and upkeep of the Coos Memorial, and we have had very successful races in the past, and is really helping to maintain that memorial great. This is also where the proceeds to the scholarships come from, is that right?
It is.
Yeah, so sign up today. The information is, I don't know, I guess there's a link probably on our website for that. Yeah, the link on the bottom here does not say Town of Smyrna, so I wasn't sure. Also, yeah, to you, what you guys already mentioned, WGNS this morning, Mr. Kraus was awesome. He's also a professor political science professor at Motlow and I think adjunct at MTSU, and it was very enjoyable getting to know him. So appreciate the invite and the opportunity to just kind of, I think you said it was kind of like sitting at your kitchen table to having a cup of coffee. It was very informal, very laid back, and just kind of talked about the town of Smyrna. So it was fun.
Agree. We invited him to come down on a Friday for some catfish, and that we'd like to just sit down and pick his brain about some stuff. He's had lots of experiences. So, Mark.
Couple things. One, congratulations, of course, to Kelly and Drew and the whole Beam family. Mike, go Vols. This was an orange shirt until I stayed outside for about 2 hours. It kind of went up in flames. But had an opportunity to hear about Miss Ellie Lee. She is a Smyrna Middle School teacher finalist for Teacher of the Year. I don't know if she watches this program or not, but that's a big award. So, Miss Lee, hope you win it if you haven't already. So. Also attended Destination Rutherford with the Chamber last week, and got to speak with the Commissioner of Economic Development there, a gentleman named Stuart McWhorter, and he was kind of giving us some kudos and congratulating us on the fact that Smyrna has done a really good job with supplying housing for job-created people that come to the town here. So he and I swapped a lot of stories about housing. As everybody knows, that's what I do for a living. But the 55 plus, the active adult communities that we have are a really big plus, he said. And as a job driver, having affordable housing for a community such as Smyrna, he said that is so important to bring those people into our town where they can try to afford to live, to work at places that are in Rutherford County. So he was giving us all kudos for trying to make that happen. Ms. Appleton, I'm sorry, I did not know about your event, but congratulations and being recognized there at the Smyrna Senior Citizen Center. And I think that's all I had. I got a slide. You'll see up on the board, the town of Smyrna is hosting its 12th annual Smyrna Golf Course Scramble on Friday, August 16th at the Smyrna Golf Course. Sponsorship packages are available now through July the 15th. You can sign up today. All proceeds do benefit the United Way drive that Smyrna puts together every year, the town. For more information or to become a sponsor, contact Jeff Craig at jeff.craig, C-R-A-I-G, at townofsmyrna.org. Mayor, that's all I have.
Great. So we would like to invite you out Wednesday, July 3rd, to our Independence Day celebration at Lee Victory Recreation Park. It will be from 5 p.m. to 9. You can enjoy live music, food vendors, inflatables, train rides, and fireworks are at dark once all children and adults are where they're supposed to be. We have had issues in the past sometimes with adults getting lost and having to find who they came with, and so sometimes it's a little later getting started before we shut down all the lights. So we're looking forward to another great Independence Day celebration. I did want to update you all. Yesterday, we had a special called meeting to review candidates from Mercer Group Associates who had put out the town manager position. We had 29 applicants. Of the 29, they had recommended 6 of the 29. We reviewed those 6 applications as well as watched videos on each one of them. We narrowed those down to 5 individuals, and the 5 individuals that we narrowed down to were Kevin Owens, Richard Reed, David Santucci, Mark Tyner, and Blaine Williams. So on August the 2nd, we will bring those individuals in for an in-person interview. All of these meetings are open to the public. That will be an all-day event. It will start at 8:30 and go till about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. So we welcome anyone who would like to come sit in on those. You are more than welcome to do that. And we are looking forward to continuing this process with Mercer Group and interviewing these 5 individuals. And I think we've got some really good candidates for this position. So Council, anything else?
Oh, and I think most, if not all of them, are out of state. Am I correct? Maybe one?
There's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that's
there's
in
one that's not,
state,
yeah.
and, but the rest are all from out of state, that's
Yeah.
correct, so. But all have town manager, all have, management experience in government, so. Other questions, comments? Okay, then we are adjourned.